Good morning, Squirrel Tribe. So we have some new updates on April 8th and the solar eclipse. And there are a few things that we need to talk about that I think people need to be aware of, because I don't want to say it, but I'm going to put it out there. April 8th could turn deadly. And let me explain why I say this. So I'm sorry, my nose itches. So April 8th, we have the total eclipse that's going through portions of the United States and other countries, right? We have a lot of places that have declared states of emergency as a preemptive, if you will, so that they can have more boots on the ground, National Guard on the ground, especially in these places who will see like the totality of the solar eclipse, because there's going to be a lot of people there. A ton of people are showing up to these locations that are going to have the totality of the solar eclipse so they can witness it. It's almost a once in a lifetime thing for a lot of people, and a lot of people are going to be driving to these locations. So you have Governor Kathy Hochul. She has she's updating New Yorkers on how to prepare. State of emergency officials are warning about cell phone service issues because of how many people are going to be in areas where the towers cannot handle the massive influx of people. So you're going to have cell phone issues in places. Even the Niagara region has declared a state of emergency. This is for Ontario, Canada. They've even declared a state of emergency. You have Governor Eric Holcomb signs Indiana state of emergency declaration for April 8th solar eclipse. Hundreds of thousands expected to visit. A lot of people are planning to go view this eclipse. My mother-in-law sent me a text yesterday. Well, she sent it to our whole family. We have a family thread. That way we can keep up with each other since we're in different states, right? So we have this family thread, and she sends a text out yesterday, and she goes, does everybody have their glasses for the solar eclipse? And I'm like, well, here where we are in Okaloosa County, we're not going to get a total eclipse, a total solar eclipse. So we're going to have maybe a little partial, nothing crazy. They have not canceled school here, but in other locations, they have canceled school days. One, I think, so that the kids can view this possible once in a lifetime event, but also safety reasons for a lot of things also. So you have a lot of schools. I think there's a school in Georgia that canceled classes for the solar eclipse, and I'm sure across the country and the places that are having the totality, they've canceled as well. But here's the thing that people need to be really aware of. The weather is not going to be playing nice on April 8th. And let me explain why that, to me, means things could turn deadly. So you have hundreds of thousands of people traveling to get to these locations where there's going to be the total eclipse. Again, my brain wants to sing Total Eclipse of the Heart every single time I say this, but the totality of the solar eclipse, you have hundreds of thousands of people going to these places. And we all know that when everything goes pitch black, it's going to be difficult to do anything to begin with. But when you add in rain, you add in fog, you add in wind, you add in all this potential negative weather impacts on top of a partial eclipse, all the way through total blackout and back around, it's going to get very hectic in a lot of these places. People in general suck at driving in the rain. We know that. Y'all know that. That's not breaking news or anything. People suck at driving in the rain. And when you add in, like I said, way more cars, way more traffic, tons of people standing in the roadways and on sidewalks, tons of roadway, what's the right word? I'm thinking of like when you have a parade and stuff, when there's so many people that you cannot traverse certain areas because of standing traffic and driving traffic and just gridlock and things like that. You're going to have these issues. You're going to have people who are so focused on looking up while they're driving a car, because we know people have very dumb attention spans, okay? People are going to be looking up while they're driving a car, not notice there's people on the road, people can get hit. The problem to me with all of this is we're talking about, prepare, stock up, make sure you have everything. And some people aren't understanding why that's necessary or important. Think about it this way. You have hundreds of thousands of people going into these locations. I live in a touristy area of Okaloosa County, all right? And the second spring break hit, our grocery stores became just absolutely friggin' awful. It looked like shortages. My brain is going, oh great, we have food shortages again in 2024. No, we don't. We just have a ton of people in the area who are wiping everything out off the shelves. You're going to have even worse of that in these locations that are going to be experiencing this solar eclipse on April 8th. And it's not just April 8th. People are showing up a day or two before, they're staying a day or two after. So keep in mind that for, let's say, a week, half before and half after, today is the 4th. Today is the 4th. So starting today, I'm sure people are driving or flying in or working their way to the locations they want to be on or be in or be at for April 8th for this eclipse. You're going to see gas stations running out of fuel. When you have hundreds of thousands more cars than generally expected, gas stations are going to run out of fuel. Grocery stores are going to run out of the bare necessities, like the basic necessities, your milk, your eggs, your baby formulas for people with kids, your chicken, because that seems to be the first thing to go, canned goods. Like a lot of things are going to fall off these shelves, and it's going to look like the height of 2020, in my personal opinion, in a lot of these locations. And again, it's not because of anything bad. It's actually because of a good thing, because it's bringing in, this solar eclipse is bringing in money to these cities. But on the flip side of the positive of tons of money coming into these cities for the hotels, the Airbnbs, the Verbos or VRBOs, I don't know how you're supposed to say that, and the grocery stores, the gift stores and places like that, the flip side of it is it's going to really hurt the locals who rely on those places to go get gas on their way to work, to go to the grocery store to grab something to cook for dinner for their families and things like that. So you're going to have the pros and the cons, but when you add in this new issue of weather, you're going to see more cons than pros, in my personal opinion, in the upcoming days. So the weather is going to play a massive role in what does or does not happen on April 8th. People who have made these plans to be there, they're not going to cancel them, because a lot of times you're too soon or too close to the travel date to cancel without losing whatever money you put down for your hotel, your VRBO, your Airbnb, your whatever, your time you've already taken off work, all these different things. But when you get there, think about how your mood is when something goes wrong. You're thinking it's going to be beautiful out. You pay to go on vacation. We see it happen here where I live all the time. People pay to go on vacation. It's not cheap to stay in these condos or on the beach or anything like that. And they get here and they're here for 3 days. And out of those 3 days, it rains every single day. That ruins your mood and your attitude. And that then reflects on how you treat people and talk to people a lot of the time. So you're going to have hundreds of thousands of people in locations who are expecting something beautiful and magnificent and whatever else. And then it's going to be cloudy and foggy and raining, and people are going to be assholes, and it's going to be awful. And when I say it could turn deadly, think about it. There was something that happened in Atlanta on Easter at a park. I can't remember what park it was. Some guys got into an argument over like basketball or something stupid and started shooting at each other in the middle of an Easter egg hunt on Easter with tons of children around. If people can lose their minds and pull out guns over, it was a foul or it wasn't a foul on the basketball court, what's going to happen when you have hundreds of thousands of people all vying for that parking space or that spot to put their chairs out so they can watch this eclipse, and then there's rain? You guys know what I'm saying, right? You understand when people's moods, and then it turns into like this crowd mob mentality. You see certain people start to get mad, and then it starts to move its way through, and then it's just like this weird ripple effect, and then everybody's pissed off. This is me crossing the shit out of my fingers, hoping that the weather, is like, haha, April Fools, gotcha, and it's going to be perfectly fine. I hope that it's going to be perfectly fine, that there is no rain, there is no fog, there is no anything else, because I would hate to be in that location where the totality is and all these hundreds of thousands of people have shown up and it turn into just a shit show, if you will. Anxiety for totality tourists hoping for clear skies. That's what they're saying on like all these news sites and whatever else, that the anxiety of people is going to be through the roof because of this. And people don't deal with anxiety very well. Just so we're all fully aware, anxiety is not a fun thing to have. Trust. Having anxiety and small panic attacks is not a way you want to spend your day when it's supposed to be something fun and enjoyable, right? So when people are saying prepare, if you're in these areas, to me, it's not because the world's going to end. This is not Armageddon. It's not going to be anything like that. My personal opinion. Everybody may feel differently, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I do believe that we're going to have more issues than people expect because of the amount of people. And now you throw the weather in, there's going to be a lot of really angry people in areas that there's no way to fix it. You know what I mean? So when you hear people going, oh no, state of emergency has been declared, Don't worry about that. It's to have extra feet on the ground. My personal opinion, I believe it's for a positive thing, not a negative thing. I don't think there's a lot of things being talked about how, you know, a ton of people are going to show up and then the government's going to have people there and it's going to be a total like, what is the right word? Wrangling of people by the government entities. I don't think it's going to go that route. I could be wrong. But with so many eyes on what is happening in these places, I don't think it's going to be anything crazy like that. I do believe that if you live in those areas, though, you really do need to act like this is smack dab in the middle of 2020 when everything was hell in a handbasket, and you need to prepare. You need to get food for a couple weeks, because think about it this way also. Delivery trucks, they're not coming in or going out during the next couple days, and especially on April 8th because of how many people will be there. Delivery trucks cannot get in and out. So you're going to have stretches of time where grocery stores are not going to be getting more stuff in. So today is the day to run out and get every single thing that you can, especially if you happen to be in those areas where hundreds of thousands of people are flocking to in order to watch this total eclipse of the heart, and make sure you have what you need for you and your family. Hopefully the people who are driving in are stopping at places along the way and picking up a little bit here and there, as opposed to waiting till they get to where they're going, trying to get everything at once, because again, mob mentality. You're going to have a ton of people at that one Walmart, that one Winn-Dixie, that one Fred Meyer's, that one Kroger, you know what I mean? And everybody going in and wiping the shelves off. And it's going to look like places have been looted. And then they're going to be mad when there's not something. And then there's going to be grocery store fights. Mob mentality. I have a feeling we're going to see so many news articles and news clips of mob mentality in these places, of people who forget that they're trying to go do something fun and do something whatever with their family, and instead turning to raging jackals. Like, I hate to say it, but sometimes humanity, they let you down. And I'm hoping that people don't do that, but I don't know how this is all going to work. So I would say, again, if you are in those areas, if you're planning on going to those areas to witness the eclipse, please make sure you have what you need ahead of time. Don't get to the city that you're going to and wipe them out completely. Take some stuff from home if you're driving. You have your own stuff. Take it with you. If you don't have that, if you're flying in, try not to go overboard. It's like 2 or 3 days. You don't need a year's worth of stuff for those of you traveling for it. Everybody else who lives around there, go ahead and get a couple weeks worth of stuff, because you're going to need it, because the refresh, the bringing new stuff in is going to take a while. And then locals are going to then have to bum rush the store to get what they need if they weren't already stocked up and prepared ahead of time. So that's that. Just wanted to bring it to your attention. Things to think about, again, with the way the weather is going to be changing and the anxiety of everybody who's going for this. In my opinion, there's going to be some very negative things that will transpire in some of these locations. So for those of you in the areas, just be prepared. Okay. So that's it for now. I have to go inside Walmart now, and I'm going to record a little bit of something in there because I want to show you guys something that I found out that I think is interesting. And I will see you guys again later on that video. Love you guys. Bye.